And we're live. What's up?
Nothing. What's
Thanks
up, man?
for doing this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I like how you dressed. Very casual. Look like
Yeah, it's all about comfort these days.
like monk-like. There's like a lot of monk-like to what you got. The shaved head and the wooden beads and the whole deal.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I kind of decided that, ever since cutting my hair, that I don't know, I'm just gonna do away with not being comfortable in any area. So heels, you're gonna have to pay me to do that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just I'm not a big fan of heels because I can't run away in them.
That's a good point. I think that's why they made them.
Yeah.
I mean, it only makes sense. Like girls wearing tight skirts where your legs are constricted, right?
Yeah.
Or tight dresses that go down to your knees, especially.
Yeah.
Those things are weird. That's like a thing where girls can like barely walk. You have heels. Your toes are down. It's like the opposite of being strong. It's like you're very vulnerable, right?
Very vulnerable. Yeah. I don't know if it's just because of the way I grew up, but I was always looking over my shoulder. Anytime I was walking down the wrong alley, I was always, ready to scope out the area and, just run and be able to run.
I think everybody's like that, though, right? I mean, especially girls. You should be.
Yeah. I mean, just me in particular, just because I was the only girl that looked like myself. I was the smallest all the time or youngest or, the only white girl on my block. So it was always, I stood out. And so, yeah, I like to be safe.
That's smart.
Yeah. Or be able to, throw a kick in these pants.
Yeah, those sweatpants or something? What do you got on?
These are called harem pants.
Harem pants?
Yeah.
Let me see. Get up there with that. Oh, they're crazy. They're they got cool designs on them. What are those designs?
I don't really know. But they're
It's
super
wild.
comfy. And I got, they came off this website called harempants.com or something like that.
And what are the wooden beads about?
So this is I got it from a friend, Cassie Robb, who's also a fighter. She's my teammate back at home, and she gave it to me leading up to the fight with Joanna, and just for some strength and courage. So I think this is supposed to give you some type of confidence or whatever. Yeah. It's just an energy bead. I don't know if it really I guess it works, but
If you believe it works, it works.
Exactly. That's kind of how I always feel about everything. It's
like a placebo effect, right?
Yeah.
I got to tell you that your victory speech after you beat Joanna was my all-time favorite. Because it wasn't even just about you or about the fight. It wasn't about anything. It was just you expressing yourself. Pat, what are you doing over there? You all right?
Checking out this little tassel.
Yeah, no. I just think that
it was an awesome victory speech. It was really amazing. It was you were just spilling your heart out, and it was in your moment to shine. And in your moment to shine, you didn't make it about you.
I think I fight better that way. When I'm it's always about me. Throughout the training camp, everybody, my coaches and teammates, they're always, helping me, and it gets to be a bit much sometimes, and I want to help other people. It fills my spiritual cup more,
Your spiritual cup.
Yeah, I think that I've, if your hand's closed to give, you can't be open to receive, kind of thing, and I think that. The more that I can give to people, the more that I can get myself, And I think that, just like plants and animals, the way, if you look at nature, everything is a symbiotic relationship. And I think that humans can be the same way.
That's an interesting way of looking at things. Have you always looked at things like that?
No. I shouldn't say not always, but I always was a person that, wanted to be outside, wanted to be in nature. I grew up in a urban jungle in Milwaukee and just concrete everywhere, no place to go outside except for, just playing in the alleys and stuff. But my lineage is from Lithuania, where they're very in tune with nature, and they're pagans and / Christian. And so they really, just my whole family, they come from living off the land and stuff like that. And so that's always been something I wanted to do. I was just put in this situation, just to, try and do martial arts and trying to I guess control my emotions and stuff, just living in this, chaotic environment that I grew up in. And nature is where I felt the most peace at. So that's always something that I connected with. And then the more that I kind of focus on nature and animals and stuff like that, I noticed that, you know, there's I don't know, I try to live my life the same way.
Well, it's just interesting leading up to that fight, too, that you are kind of like the antidote to a lot of the things that people are getting annoyed at in MMA. All the trash talking and all the negativity and all the, like, fighting at press conferences. And you just shut all that shit down with Joanna.
I mean, there needs to be balance, you know? It's like, I mean, I like entertainment, you know? I'm not, you know, I should talk sometimes too, you know?
Right.
But there just has to be a balance, you know? And it has to be honest too. Like, if you really feel this way about somebody, like, if you're really upset with this person, yeah, say how you feel. But, like, don't just go out of your way just to be entertaining because you think it's going to be funny or something. Or you think it's just going to be, like, it's not genuine, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But it was just the way you handled yourself, like, because her whole thing is talking shit. Her whole thing is scaring people. I'm the boogie woman coming to get you.
Yeah.
You know, all that stuff. And you were just dead-faced. And I think that fucked her head up. I really
think so. You ever see that video of, like, what was that video?
How to humble a bully? How to humble a bully?
Not that one. The one you just showed me earlier was, like, is this dude, like, standing in front of an elephant?
Oh, yeah.
And he, like,
there's
started
a guy
charging at him.
and
then he was, like, calm, you know? And
That
he
guy
just
got
stood
lucky.
there. Yeah.
That guy got lucky.
Very
He
lucky,
got
yeah.
lucky
I don't know
that
how
elephant
crazy
really
he
didn't
was,
want to
but-
trample him.
Yeah, we just watched it. Elephant is coming through and is like,
Yeah, I've seen that.
and the guy just stands there in one spot and it stops.
That guy got
But
lucky.
yeah, I think that's
Don't
just...
try that at home,
No,
kids.
yeah, no. Yeah, not
But that's a
advertising
different
that
thing,
at all.
obviously,
But
because you're
it's
talking
just,
about an animal.
Right. But it's just, I think it's a good analogy to draw from, like, Joanna's energy. She was very, like, chaotic and very in my face and very threatening.
Intimidating.
Yeah. And, like, don't go out of your way to stand in front of an elephant that's running at you. Like, don't put yourself in that position. But I had to be there. That's my job, you know? So, so when you're in those situations where you, like, you don't know what to do, you know, you just stay calm.
Yeah, well, you didn't just stay calm. You stayed eerily calm. And you were, like, reciting the Lord's Prayer. When I asked you that, I was like, whoa. I was like, what are you saying over there? And you're like, I'm reciting the Lord's Prayer. I'm like, whoa.
Honestly, because, like, the whole training camp was just crazy. But, like, that week in particular, like, I was convinced that this might be my last fight. This might be my last day on earth. Like, I was so just, like, ready for anything at that point. You know?
Why were you thinking that might be your last fight?
I don't know, some crazy. I don't know. Just because I don't know. I think I started to think that almost like every fight, just because it's
Crazy way to make
tough.
a living.
Yeah, it's tough. But it's the best thing in the world too.
Especially all of the stressors that came along with this fight in particular.
Right.
Especially all of those, like, and
press.
then we've had in that fight we had a few, like, kind of, I don't want to say magical moments, but say for instance we bring Mishka with us everywhere we go.
Your dog.
Yeah, our flight was delayed 4 hours, and when we landed like a few hours after that truck drove through the park and killed all the people in New York, which was right by our hotel. Which if we would have been there on time, we would have signed the posters and then been outside at the park walking Mishka. So I mean, just little things like that. Like, we would have been outside maybe at that spot and had been witness to that thing.
Or
go
at
down.
least would have heard it or something, you know,
Right.
and that would have affected me, you know. And
the Antifa march.
yeah, and there was just all this stuff about, you know, like, people are going to be protesting and stuff like that. And they even, like, the day of the fight. And I just get a lot of anxiety over that stuff. I get anxiety over, like, big crowds of people. And it's like, you know, these people are crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's, I wasn't even just thinking about the fight with Joanna. It was more than that, you know. It was, like, what all her energy represented to me, like, all my past, like, just negative people that want to strike fear into your heart, you know.
Right.
And I wasn't gonna let that happen, even though I was scared. But you know, I wasn't gonna stop doing what I was doing just because of that.
But you were, like, eerily focused. Like, one time she stuck her fist in your face and touched your face. You didn't even move.
Yeah, because I know she needed a reaction from me. You know, it's just like with anybody. You know, if you don't give energy to something negative, you don't feed the fire, you know.
Yeah, that's got to be a mind fuck for her, though, right? 'Cause
Right.
she's so used to people reacting to her and headbutting, you know, going head to head with her and trying to show her, and you just stayed calm.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, it's either you really, I mean, it's either one of two things. Either you really dislike me enough to like, you know, put your hands on me outside of the competition, or it's fake, you know, or it's a character, or you're just doing this for show.
Right.
You know, it's either one of the two. And I just don't think she's really a bad person. I just think that, you know, she's put in this position and maybe she, you know, that's what she felt like she had to do.
Well, I wrote something about the Volkan Ozdemir Daniel Cormier fight the other day, that what Ozdemir was trying to do and what Cormier was trying to do is like they're trying to sow seeds of doubt, that you're trying to, there's a real issue with someone that's about to fight where you're about to compete and it's this crazy nerve-wracking thing and the unknown is always there. You don't know what's going to happen.
Right.
So if someone can convince you, I'm going to fuck you up, you're like, God damn, is he going to fuck me up? Like you really start thinking it if you if it's in your head. And that one of the things that Daniel said in that fight was that there's levels to this thing. Like you think you're gonna come in and fuck me up. This is there's levels to this. You haven't experienced this yet.
Right, and that's just something that I have a lot of respect for Joanna still, you know, and I think it's great that I was put in this position to face her because I had to get better in order, like I had to get up to that level, you know, to face her, and I had to do a lot of research and work on my, you know, mental stability. I mean, she kept saying I was mentally unstable, like in those, you know, phone calls and stuff, like the conference calls beforehand. And I was like,
Why
first I
was
was
she saying
kinda,
you were mentally unstable? What was the?
I don't know.
Because Rose is mentally unstable.
Yeah. Well, my dad is.
She
she
was correct.
Like in what way?
I mean, well, I don't know. To me, I can't speak for myself, but like,
Pat, you
it's
wanna
just
speak for her?
it's just
I can speak for her.
Please do.
I mean, I'm sure you could come up with all kinds of stuff, but
No,
Yeah,
it's like everyone getting ready for a fight. It's
Right.
there are some people who can be excited about the fight the entire time and they don't give a shit about anything and they love it. And then there's also the ones who get ready for a fight, and while getting ready for the fight, it's nerve-wracking. And especially with all of the boogie woman and all the you're mentally unstable and then the history with her dad and her history growing up and just all of those things coming to a head, this was exactly what Rose wanted it to be, the scariest possible situation for her to be in New York with the Antifa march that happened in front of the hotel the morning of. We almost didn't make it to the fight. That march happened.
What was going on? This was the anti-Donald Trump march,
Yeah.
right?
it's something, and it sounded way bigger than it was, you know, because I just, you know, like there's a quote.
That was when we had a walk, right? We had a walk to the arena. No, that was the year before.
Yeah, it happened the morning of the fight, right through the front of the hotel, that's fine. But Rose had seen some weeks in advance. Someone somewhere posted that Antifa they were gonna strike on November 4th. Like
they were planning on taking over the whole country.
They were planning on a strike on November.
It ended up being nothing. Like seriously, I was like, we were getting ready. Like we had done our morning shakeout, you know.
What's the morning shakeout?
So like the day of the fight, we always like to first thing we do when we get up is just shake it out, like. Because all your nerves and stuff, like all your like nervous energy is inside of you the day of the fight, and you don't want to go to the arena the first time breaking a sweat or getting that heavy breathing, you know,
So
because
a workout before going to the arena.
Yeah.
So what kind of workout do you do? Just like light mitt work or?
Actually, we blow it out hard. Like we just get it out. You know, like
Really?
you know when you first start running or something, or you do a workout and you just like breathing heavy, like you get your first like heavy wind out.
Yeah.
That's like you just blow right through it.
So what kind of stuff do you do?
Just hit pads, like intense, you know, just whatever actually it is, like you go off of a feel, you know, whatever you're feeling. Like some days when I fought Tisha, I was like kind of sick and on antibiotics because I like got the red tide or something. So I barely slept, and like so our shakeout was not very long. Like it was like, okay, I got to save my energy to get to the arena. So we barely even did one. But like for this one, the shakeout was pretty normal. You know, we just hit pads.
Hit pads for about 7 minutes, and then she shadow boxed real hard for like 5 minutes, and then
we might do a little bit of grappling or something like that. But yeah,
and then it was just.
And then we go to and then you know go take a nap, like you know get in a shower, you know, kind of visualize and just like lay down. Not even take a nap, but just like close your eyes.
What do you always eat the same thing on the day of a fight?
I barely even eat on a fight day. Like. The way I cut weight is I'll do like the day before I don't really have to cut that much weight, so but like I'll do like a juice fast. Like for one day I'll just drink fluids, and then the next day I'll sit in a hot shower and then just sweat it out. Cause I don't like to dehydrate myself too much. Like, I'd rather have fluids and no food than lots of food in my stomach and no fluids.
Right.
And she's talking about sweating out 2 pounds.
Shut up. No, like 5 pounds last time. I'm getting bigger now. This fight was, I think it was like 125, 130. I can't remember. I think like the week of the fight, I was like 127, and like by the time weight cut started, I was like 125-ish.
So you're cutting 10
or
pounds?
120.
She was
5 pounds?
Dang, I can't remember. I don't even know.
When we started the weight cut. Rose walks around lately because of just the growth in size. Lately, she's been walking around 125, 127. Yeah. But every fight, it'll like the day before weigh-in, she's
but fight week I'm like 120. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
talking about going to saunas, and like, oh man, what are we gonna do to get this one off? It's like, man, go spit.
So you don't have like a particular type of food that you like to eat the day of? Or a kind of food, like carbohydrate rich, or like what do you?
It depends on where I'm at. So like, you know, because every place has different food, and like some places there's like nasty food. But in New York, there's this like little smoothie shop across the street, and there's this like most delicious smoothie that like I just had it all week.
A chocolate rose.
Yeah, it was a chocolate rose. It was really good. So I had that like every day of the week, and that was, I think, the day of the fight I had like a little bit of that. But I don't know. When Marty Morgan was his coach, he always used to say like, you know, you have enough like food and energy in you to sustain you for the fight day. It's more just like mentally, like if you want to eat something. Right. But so ever since he ever said that, I was like, yeah, I never wanted to eat during fight day, because I'm just like, so
nerves. And,
you can't digest it. You have to be like relaxed.
What kind of diet do you follow normally?
I try and make everything homemade as possible. So that's like kind of my thing. You know, I'm never anti anything. I don't like to be like, I mean, except for lots of sugar and obviously like things that are like obviously bad for you. I like to make everything from scratch as much as possible.
So
and
the
more, the more process that something takes in order to make it from scratch, I think the less you should eat it, you know? Like if like something like bread, you know, if you do it from scratch, like make your own starter culture, and like that takes like a week by itself, and you have to add more flour and water to it like over time. It takes another 2 weeks. So like you shouldn't be eating bread every day, you know? So it takes a lot of work. But like say, you know, if you have like a garden, you got tomatoes, which, you know, we grew the last camp, you know, you could just eat those real easy because you just pick it and eat it.
So you make your own bread too?
I tried once and it was all right, but I had to work on it a little bit more. But that's like my goal, you know, it's like to try and make everything from scratch. And
that's interesting.
She makes her own kombucha.
Oh yeah. By the way, this is pretty good. Like normally I don't like, I would use this brand to like make my own.
GTs? Yeah.
Yeah, I like to do like the starter SCOBY or whatever, but usually I don't like them, just like but this one's pretty good.
Yeah, GTs is my favorite. You have to have a driver's license to purchase that. You have to be over 21.
Really?
Yeah, because it's got more than 0.5% alcohol by volume, so which is so it's impossible to get drunk off of it. I mean, it's just got a very marginal amount, because of the fermentation. There's a marginal amount of natural alcohol in it.
Yeah.
So but that's the good ones. There's other ones that you can buy in any store. Those are watered
just
down.
Like they don't even have like the SCOBY in them. I like making it myself though, because I think it tastes a lot better. Like I'll use green tea instead of black tea, and I'll like add ginger and stuff like that to it.
Cool. Yeah, I did that for a while. I just get tired of it. Like,
I know,
having big bowls laying around with a
little
giant
science
slimy
experiments.
thing. Yeah. But it's fun. It's fun to do. But I was doing that in the 90s. Like way back in the day.
Really?
Yeah, I got one from Andy Dick.
Yeah.
Andy Dick gave me, like, he was making in his house. Like, what are you making? He gave me some. I was like, this is actually pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, like diet wise, I mean, I try not to be too scientifical on stuff, but you know, whatever feel good, like whatever makes you feel good, I think is what you should eat.
So you don't?
I don't like sweets or anything like that. I grew up, you know, my mom was Lithuanian. Like, my parents were actually like Lithuanian refugees that came. I'm first generation American, and we grew up like eating sauerkraut and potatoes and, you know, just real Eastern European type stuff, you know. So I never really like candy or anything like that. So I've always just been, it's been like a lifestyle for me, and never like a thing that I'm on this diet that I have to do, and you know what I mean?
Right. Now, how did you get involved in martial arts?
My stepdad put me and my brother in taekwondo like from a young age, and then from there, you know, it was just such a positive thing for me, just because like it kept us out of trouble. It, you know, taught me how to defend myself, gave me confidence, things like that. And then we also like watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z growing up, so like we thought we were like, you know, badasses or whatever, and we thought we could power up and stuff. So it was a fun thing for like as kids, and then it kind of just evolved into more of like a, you know, real life application. And you know, people used to make fun of us like, you know, for doing that, but we also used to get in like little fights on like in our neighborhoods and stuff. And you know, my love for martial arts grew from that, and then I just wanted to try every martial art. You know, it's like, you know, the like flavors of ice cream. You know, you just want to try all of it. So
Sure.
so I tried karate after that. Then that's where I got introduced to jiu-jitsu for the first time, like real basic, you know, positional things, and then you know, weapons and stuff.
Stick fighting.
Yeah, I did stick fighting for a while. That was pretty fun. Yeah. With like, you get like the head cage on,
okay.
you just like whack each other and shit. Yeah, it's fun. And then pancration. And then after that, once I got into high school, I was doing a lot of sports and stuff like cross country, basketball, track, everything. Like I just try to be as active as possible, try and stay busy because
Wrestling.
yeah, I did a little, like one season of wrestling as a senior. And then, you know, I did kickboxing, and I met Pat at Duke Rufus' gym in Milwaukee. And then that's kind of where, you know, I saw guys like him, Anthony Pettis, all those dudes like doing it as a profession. So I was like, maybe I could do it as a profession too, you know?
Wow. And how old were you at the time?
So I first walked into Duke's gym, I think I was like 14, and then I left because I had like other obligations and like, you know, stopped training for a while. But I was, you know, still doing other sports and stuff, and I came back, you know, when I was like 17.
So you were really thinking at that time, like maybe this would be something you could do for a career?
You know, not for sure, but like definitely like I was always going to be involved in martial arts no matter what.
Right.
So like as a hobby.
Did you have another thing that you were thinking of doing before that though? Like when you were thinking about your future?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that I had to do something for money. So like
Right.
I tried a semester of college and realized it's like, this is just like high school, but I'm paying for it. Like, this is stupid. So I stopped going. I really liked English. And so I thought maybe I could go into that, or like my stepdad tried to push me into computers, and I was like, this is stupid. Like, I'm good at it, but it just really doesn't excite me at all. And so you're like that tassel.
If she wasn't doing martial arts right now, she'd be. Should I not be touching this?
I don't know.
Okay, all right,
Was
cool.
a problem?
I just
You're
looked
just
over
weird
it.
over there. You're making a lot of motion.
I'm hanging this out, man. I think Rose would have been farming.
Farming.
Yeah. So like my yeah, that's always been like my thing is like you know, when they ask us what we want to be when we grow up, is I always said I want to be a farmer. Like
Really?
ever since I was a kindergartner.
Just because you like the idea of growing things out of the ground and, like you were saying before, making your own food from scratch. And
yeah, a tomato from your garden that you grew tastes so much better than from the store.
now, when you two started hanging out, and Pat had already been an accomplished kickboxer, and was an MMA fighter, and did that sort of embolden you to the idea?
To the fighting,
Yeah.
like professionally, yeah. And then that's when I saw you know, Gina Carano and Cyborg fighting at the same like that big fight that they had, and then that's kind of what inspired me to like, I was like, oh, I can take this to the next level.
Wow, the Gina Carano thing, that got a lot of people into MMA, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was the first. A lot of people don't even know. A lot of these kids today that, you know about Ronda Rousey, and they got introduced into the sport. Gina Carano was the original Ronda Rousey. You know, she was the one back in the day.
Yeah, I liked her a lot. You know, she broke some barriers, you know, and then obviously Ronda, you know, came after her and took it to like even quadruple that. So, yeah, it's awesome.
What does it feel like to be the champ now? Because that's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing that happened. The fight was insane. And if people thought you were going to win, they probably thought you'd win by submission or maybe by decision. But when you cracked her in the first round and dropped her and put her away, and then DC starts screaming, "Thug Rose! Thug Rose!" That was like one of my favorite times commentating with DC too, because he just was overcome with emotion, just couldn't help it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's like, somebody asked me like, what's different since you've been champ? And I'm like, really? I'm just sitting here trying to figure out what's different. You know, like obviously I'm sitting here talking to you, like that's cool. But
I would have talked to you before.
Yeah, I mean,
but it's kind of cool to talk to you now that this crazy thing happened.
Right. So yeah, I mean, things are different. You know, like I definitely notice more people recognizing me. And
you have a very
like
unique look too with your shaved head.
Yeah, I can't hide. Don't worry.
You'd have to wear wigs to go to the movies, right?
Right. Yeah.
And you guys are going to fight again in April. Back in New York.
Yeah, that'll be cool. Thug Rose coming to Brooklyn.
Thug Rose is coming to Brooklyn.
When the fight was over, did you take some time off? Like, how did it even sink in? Like, how long did it
we had
take?
to go. We had to get the fuck out of there. We had to go home. Like, like all that stuff. Like the truck accident and like the protests and all this paranoia that I had to hide away. I'm a hermit, so like I like to be.
Bro, we went straight to the airport 2:30.
2:30 in the morning.
Our flight wasn't until 9 a.m.
Yeah, we just headed to the
from the
airport because
arena.
we heard there was gonna be a marathon, right? Yeah, the next day.
Yeah, we heard there was gonna be a marathon, but also Rose did what she did, and as soon as it happened, we all went, "Oh fuck!" Oh,
I feel like I robbed a bank. Like I was like, gotta go home.
Everybody, be cool. Just keep smiling.
Wow. Yeah, that was
I mean, obviously, I knew that was gonna happen. Like I actually envisioned me knocking her out with like an uppercut in the third round because I thought she's gonna be like overly aggressive after a certain point and she would get frustrated. That didn't happen because she thought I was throwing a jab. But yeah.
Why do you think that? I mean, when you went into that fight, she was such an overwhelming favorite. She was thought of as being one of the pound for pound top fighters in any weight class. And why did you think you were going to knock her out?
Because everybody tries to take her down. Everybody's so desperate for the takedown that it's like her striking. I mean, just from what I see, I stood across from Valentina Shevchenko and like we go like back and forth. Like it's not a thing to me. Like I got Pat H.G. Barry in my corner. I got Trevor Whitman in my corner, and I've done Taekwondo striking like my whole life. Like it's not something that I've never seen before, and just that Dutch style of kickboxing, like it's great, it's hard, it's very intimidating to stand across from, but it's very rhythmic on the beat. Like it's not, I don't know, it's just something that it looks scary, but it's not to be scared of.
That's interesting the way you're putting it. Because most people thought of her as being like this very solid. Her fundamentals are rock solid. Yeah. She's incredibly technical. Vicious jab. Yeah. But you just saw that the rhythm was predictable.
I mean,
we knew everything she was going to do before she did it.
It's just we've been watching it for a long time.
Right.
And she is she's the most dominant female. Like these girls could not hang with her. And she's still the best out there.
Joanna's been on the radar since she beat Carla. Like we knew that was the fight since she beat Carla, and it was just a matter of how were we going to get there? Like what route were we going to take to get there? And so when the fight came around, this entire training camp was mental. It wasn't physical. The whole training camp, every day was mental. Mentality, mind, mental strength, just mental. The entire training camp. And one of the keys to the fight was knowing what she's going to do before she does it. And I mean, not just in the fight, but in the interviews, in the press conference.
Backstage.
Like we knew everything that was going to happen, and it all happened exactly the way we knew it was going to.
Wow.
Yeah. This was an excellent dissection of a person, of an athlete.
Now, what is the feeling like having gone through that, having accomplished it, having literally blown it out of the water, right? You smashed her in the first round. Crazy moment. Yeah. Now you got to do it again.
I know. Yeah, that's the tough part.
What's the thought? What's the thought process?
Just you can't make the what was the saying he always say? I don't know, I'm gonna mess it up. But you can't paint the Mona Lisa twice. So it can't be the same approach. It has to be something different. It has to be, but at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it either. So it's got to be a combination of we're gonna keep doing what we're doing, but keep getting better. Obviously, all the time. I mean, it sounds a little general and cliche.
Like we don't prepare for one in particular person. It's always Rose is on the road to getting her black belt. And that's what the mission is. I mean, of course, we do get into particulars based on who it is, but that's only for a very short period of time. The whole goal is just to make Rose a black belt in grappling, wrestling, striking, like
and just in life in general.
Interviews, everything. Just become a black belt, become a master of all of it. And that's been the goal since
like
we started.
even another, like he was saying, the mentality of this last training camp. It wasn't just like okay, I'm gonna journal, which I do, journal a lot, or I'll like we talk about just doing like a float tank or something like that. Like those little mental exercises are great, but also like working on creativity. What's up?
I was about to say I was just doing the number of ice baths you took.
Oh yeah, I did a lot. Ice baths, yeah. Ugh, the last one was the worst.
Every day.
Every
day. But like every day to a point where it actually became challenging for me to get the water colder because I was like, this is ridiculous. How she can get in and now it's gotten to a point now, it's been under 25 seconds. Like when you first get it, it's like, ha, 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 boom.
Right.
Like it's under 20 seconds. Under 20 seconds and she's just stone faced. It's just amazing.
Yeah. The last one that I did, like it was hurting so bad. I was like crying. Like, I never had ice bath where I started crying, like, because it hurt so bad. But anyway, like, yeah, so that, and then
do you find a lot of benefit from that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I do. Like, I mean,
reduction of inflammation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then just, like, mentally and emotionally, too.
Right.
Because it's like, why is this so scary? But it hurts,
Yeah.
But it's good. I mean, if you can get in a cold ice bath and nobody standing across from you is going to scare you. There's nothing scarier than the cold. But also, and I was trying to say this the whole time, but I've been also getting back into piano because I, used to play piano as a kid, and I got away from that ever since like moving from state to state and not having an actual piano, just a keyboard. It's like stupid trying to play on a keyboard, but I finally got a piano in my house, and so like that's another thing that I started incorporating into my, training, just like training my mind and just be more creative and just having like an outlet too.
That's interesting. So you feel like that benefits you, just being creative on a piano and playing music.
I think there's a lot of parallels between music and fighting.
Oh.
Yeah? You think so too, Pat?
I don't know. I don't.
Well, yeah, I was classically trained in piano and jazz in high school, and my mom's a pianist, and so like it kind of runs in the family, and so we have been, doing that as long as I've been doing martial arts, and it's just a good balance, just like gardening or anything like that is to, fighting and hurting people.
It's weird. I think it almost might almost help with her body mechanics in a way, to be able to control an individual finger at different times and hit one beat on the left hand and totally different something on the right hand, and to be able to just do all of that, but over and over and over and over again. Right. And no matter how many times you play that same song, you just keep playing it and you love playing it like over and over again. I think that gives Rose like a cat-like balance in a way.
That's interesting. Have you seen, I'm sure you have seen a lot of those things that people are doing now where a light will go up on a board and you have to touch the light. Like Lomachenko does a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
Where there's these things that are supposed to like be training your neurocognitive function and your ability to react quickly to things.
Right.
I bet there's probably some parallels in that, right? Like this,
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, like we said before, it's like if you believe in it, it works,
Yeah.
Whatever makes you feel good, like whatever makes you happy too.
We've got a new idea for this second one. We've been seeing the lights and the touch, this and that. And I think for this next fight coming up, a big Rose's next evolution in her game, I think, is going to be kind of like a sniper-like accuracy. So we have an idea of having Rose punching tennis balls out of the air.
Have you tried that hat? You know that hat with the tennis balls on the hat?
And I haven't tried that yet. No.
Yeah.
Don't like that.
You don't like that hat?
No.
Why?
I don't know. I mean, what's it? It's for accuracy.
Lomachenko loves it. He does a lot of.
He does look pretty cool doing it.
Oh no, he's the man at it. But I, in my own opinion, I think that this is staring at this thing and where's it going.
I do think like a double end bag is awesome too.
Fluid. He's just got that tennis ball in front of him. He's being fluid.
Yeah.
There. You can see him practicing with it.
Yeah, that's cool as a mug, man. Accuracy. Like I said, that's somewhat of an idea that we have an idea for this next training camp where we're going to be launching tennis balls at Rose and having her punch balls out of midair, but not hitting the ball, but
Right.
standing there and throwing jabs as the ball drops right in front of it. Boom. Just
Okay.
punching the ball, like throwing real punches.
And
Versus,
this is your own idea that you came up with?
yeah, I had a dream. It was weird, man. It was, I just saw it, and if we throw multiple balls at you in different ways, and she can like throw a real jab and hit a ball, boom, then she'll be able to. I think her reflexes for hitting someone right in the tooth, you know, while they're moving,
Right.
is going to be more elevated.
And this is like just, this is like I said, we always add new stuff. It's just
Right.
like it's never, we don't ever go away from hitting a freaking bag, or
Right.
doing mitt work. Like you got to do things.
Do you do road work?
Yeah, I love running. I did cross country and track in high school, and I was really good at it. But I think I was trying to run for the wrong reasons. Like I was trying to just get a scholarship and get out of the house and just go away. So I was like, I felt like it was more of a job than it was like just for fun. And now I run for fun, and it's great. It's just like I don't know. I think there's a book called like Born to Run, and it's great. I think we all
Do you
are
run
born
with
to run.
minimalist shoes?
Yeah, I have some tennis or toe shoes.
Yeah. Do you run with those? Is that what you?
Yeah, and like my brother, like he takes it to a whole nother level. He like does barefoot
Jesus.
completely. Yeah, I'm like he's crazy, but I try it a little bit. But
Ouch.
yeah.
What's he
But
running on?
just anything.
Noise, sidewalk.
I know. Yeah, my
Sidewalk
brother's
barefoot.
my brother's
Animal.
a little different.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, he's a whole nother level to me though.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, who organizes your training camp? Does Trevor do it, or do you guys all do it together?
Yeah,
or?
we're all like a team. That's the key to our little circle is like always having team meetings, everybody being on the same page. We're not going from one gym to the other to
Right.
like, where this coach don't know really what I'm doing or what I just did with this other coach. Like we're all really good friends and we all
And it's just
grow
four of us.
together.
It's just four of us.
Right.
Trevor, Tony, Rose, me.
Yeah.
Now we have teammates, but the core circle is just four people.
Right. The people that
Yeah.
are in charge of how the camp goes.
Like
Yeah.
fight handling is what we
Yeah.
like to call it. Because it's like, I mean, you don't see Floyd Mayweather going to a boxing like class. You
How
know?
long has Valentina Shevchenko been in Denver now?
She went back to Texas, but what was it, last year in January? Was it last
Or
year?
like the almost all of 2017.
That is a phenomenal training partner to have.
Yeah.
Man, that was
It was rough.
such
It was fun though.
that was perfect timing. That was one of the best things that
Yeah.
happened.
She's
That
so
was-
technical.
Yeah.
She's so good. That check right hook that she throws is so.
Yeah.
When she fought Holly with it, she just shut Holly down with that check hook.
And she's got really good jiu-jitsu. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah.
and
Yeah.
she
Just
never
her
stops.
grind and
She never stops.
Yeah. Well, when
Yeah.
she submitted Juliana Pena, I was like, oh shit. Off
it's
her
very
back.
underrated. Yeah.
Well, everybody's scared of her striking, and her physical strength too is also very impressive too.
Yeah.
Like she muscles people
Little
around.
bulldog.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah.
bull. She's an angry lady. You know, like
Yeah. I like her. a lot,
yeah,
though.
she's
cool.
she's tough.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan. And so, when I heard that you were training with her, I was like, ooh, that's you want to sharpen the sword.
Yeah.
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah, and I think like a lot of girls aren't used to training with other girls. We're used to training with other guys, so it's like I think it's essential, for us to get together every once in a while. It doesn't have to be all the time,
Right.
but because when a girl gets you, like if I get you like another girl with something or she gets me with something, I get so much more angry at it than like say if like somebody like Pat or another dude like gets me
Right.
with something,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you doing your camp, say how many weeks out do you say, all right, camp begins now? Like say you have this April 7th fight.
Yeah.
How many weeks out will you just say it's time to go to war?
I like to close everything off like 5 weeks out or like 4 to 5 weeks out. Like that's like where we hit it hard,
It also depends on the scenario and who it is and where we are. Like
that's true.
everything is a day by day feel. Like there's no you eat this on fight week and this is the shakeout that we're gonna do. It's gonna be 5 rounds. It's all
kind of
on
based on
feel.
the circumstances. Like so, the last training camp because we did like 3 training camps with Valentina Shevchenko back to back for her, like do things that really aren't like what I've
Rose was a great training partner.
Yeah, this is not the way that I would try and face her, but
So
I
you
want to
emulate certain opponents?
Yeah, so like just going through all of that and all those challenges, going into this last fight, we kind of just pulled it back. Like it was very not intense at all. Actually, it was a lot more focused on, like you said, the mental part and like doing a lot of, visualization and like self-awareness kind of exercises.
Valentina's going to 25 now, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think she'll be fighting February 3rd. So yeah, and she's been in Texas, I think, training down there. So I don't know.
And this, like I said, all on field. And what she did with Valentina was off camp. So that was 3 training camps back to back to back. She had a fight, then Valentina came back, and it was just more nonstop. And the way that Valentina is capable of doing what she's doing, because she trains like, everybody, this girl trains like an animal.
Everybody does.
10 to 1.
Yeah, you have to.
10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And Pavel sits there, and like, Rose isn't necessarily emulating someone. Rose, go get her, go, attack, and if she's not acting right, go get Pat. He'll get her, like attack. Like it's just nonstop. That girl is tough, man. She was one of the biggest blessings for this training camp to come around.
Yeah.
So 5 weeks out is when you really get crazy. Now, having already faced Joanna and having defeated her so soundly in the first fight, I don't want to ever say that there's a possibility you could underestimate her, because obviously she's a very dangerous and threatening woman. But how do you keep it fresh? Like, how do you approach this with the same sort of intensity and anxiety that you had in the first fight that ramped up like your performance? I mean, that was a big part of how turned on you were and how tuned in you were.
Yeah, I've had I almost get like more pressure and anxiety off of like rematches. I mean, I have all my other past experiences to draw from. So, like when I rematched Tisha, there was a lot of lessons learned there, and I have to kind of apply those same lessons to going forward. Or like other opponents where it could be, there's many, like a list of reasons to underestimate this person. Like I have to remember that anything can happen at any moment, and anybody can be dangerous. And then at the end of the day, whatever's meant to be is meant to be. Like I remember one time, like in the middle of the training camp, I had like, I like my little yogi tees where they like say like a little, saying on it. And it was something like, if it belongs to you, it'll come to you, or something like that. And so it was just like, kind of, that's how I feel about the belt. It's like, don't go chasing the belt, just if the belt's meant to be yours, it's meant to be yours. And do everything that you can to keep it, and do everything that you can to just be the best version of you. But, don't put that pressure on yourself that I have to be the champion, or I have to do this, because you don't have to do anything.
The whole quest has been to see if, like, it's just the mentality has been, let's see if I'm better than this next person. Someone out there is better than me. Someone eventually is going, maybe. Someone out there is better. We just need to find out who it is. And it might be the next person, even if it's someone who we previously fought. It might be her. So we have to be as the most ready possible, because we don't know who that individual is.
And I think also, like, focusing on keeping the mentality of, like, being curious rather than having a need to know that you're the best. Like, just being curious if you're the best. I think that's a healthy way to approach it, rather than needing to know, like, I am better than you. It's like, I don't know, because we're all the same. We're all, human beings, like, at the end of the day, like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
But you went into that fight wholly confident that you were better than her.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. No, I mean, I definitely feel like I'm the better martial artist, I'm better, and the better fighter too. And it's just, I have a lot of going for me, but I just have to remember these things that, like
stay
the
humble.
truths. Yeah.
Stay focused. Stay hungry.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to strength and conditioning, how do you parse that out? Like, how do you how much time do you spend doing that versus how much do you spend on skill work?
It's almost all skill work. I mean, I shouldn't say all, but it's like the strength and conditioning isn't something that we like is on the priority list. It's kind of just like if we want to change it up or do something different. Like we started doing we just got our bikes, and that's been fun to do. But I feel like strength and conditioning should kind of just be, I don't know. I don't really believe in all these like strength and conditioning culture. I think whatever you believe in is what works for you, and that it works, right? But for me, that's something that I feel like a hamster in a wheel if I'm going into like some guy telling me to do these exercises and do this station and go to this thing for this amount of time. Like I want to be free. Like I want to be running outside. I want to do something that makes me happy. And or for example, like when we went to Indonesia and we built earthships for like an entire month, and like we did manual labor. Like,
what is an earthship?
It's a self-sustaining house.
Do you think 90% of the people know what the fuck an earthship is?
I think Joe Rogan knows everything. Like he knows everything. I've never known you to not know something.
I'm a curious person. What's an earthship?
An earthship is a self-sustaining house that is built off of like recycled materials, and there's a documentary on it called Garbage Warriors, and this dude Michael Reynolds, he's in New Mexico, and he fought against legislation like in a community to make a earthship community, and
in New Mexico.
Yeah, and so he fought. I can't remember how long it was, but like 40 years or something crazy. Like went to court. Like we need to have this because and they just wouldn't let him. So he eventually got it. I think built the entire community, and it's cool. You can go there and like check it out in Taos, New Mexico. It's awesome, and you can like rent some and stay in it. Check it out.
Off-grid living.
It looks like Star Wars. Like it's ridiculous.
Houses built into the ground out of tires.
Jamie? Yeah, Jamie's gonna pull something up. Oh, yeah. Jesus Christ! Look at these fucking houses.
They're cool.
Yep, they're cool as a mug.
And then you can have like aquaponics.
Go to New Mexico.
Yeah.
Dude,
I keep saying
cool.
I need to check out New Mexico.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Let us know when you're going. There's a hot spring that we go to.
Whoa.
It's cool.
So Taos, you know what? We got to go there and interview Rick Strassman. That's where he lives.
Yeah.
He lives in Taos. He says it's all hippies. That place is dope.
It is
Make a large
hippie
picture of that
sure.
house. That house looks fucking badass.
Oh, and the thing is, they're not just built anywhere. Like they do some type of coordinate so the house faces a certain like direction, and the sun comes through and keeps the
monitors the 70 degrees is like the best possible way.
Yeah, they're cool as a mug.
The interior.
Yep.
It's cool. And it's like you can have aquaponics inside, and they like have banana trees growing in the middle of New Mexico, and you can like fish in your living room. Like that's
I've
the
seen
dream.
people do shit like that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Fish in your living room.
I mean, you could have like your like aquaponics, where your fish are, and you can have your plants and stuff.
And the fish shit fertilizes your plants. I've seen a lot of that. Yeah. Wow, look at this crazy freaky house.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And they're built into the ground, so like they're really resistant to.
This house is dope.
Yeah.
I want to move.
Yeah. So we went to Indonesia and built one of these for like 30 days, and we did a whole YouTube like little video on it and stuff, and
just
it's
YouTube?
Crazy. My Thug Diaries. I have like a YouTube channel. I haven't done it in a while.
What is it called?
Thug Diaries.
Thug Rose. How'd you get that name?
You're
such a nice person. How could you get this thug name?
Because I had to. Well, so my ice cold stare, Staredown, Joanna. That's I've developed that long ago. Because I was never a witty person. I never had like a good comeback for anything. So I just had to beat people's ass like that was making fun of me. Or I had to like scare them off, like just be all serious. So that's like kind of where it came from. And my neighbor, I had some Jamaican neighbors that her name was Erica Gibbs. And she always used to be like, "That's Thug Rose right there." It's like, and she always tell everybody like, "That's Thug Rose." You see her? She crazy. Yeah, no.
I'm telling you, that was one of my fondest memories when DC was screaming that out.
Yeah,
that was a pretty genuine moment, man.
Oh, it was 100%. And people gave him a hard time about that. I was like, dude, don't ever change that. That is one of the things that makes you amazing.
Yeah,
like the fact that he's doing commentary, and it's like we're on a couch together.
Yeah.
Like we were watching the fight at home. He's like, "Thug Rose, Thug Rose."
Right.
And it was genuine happiness. You know, it was like he was enjoying that moment.
It's animated.
And it was just, it was so stunning and shocking. And that was his real, honest reaction to it.
Right. That was cool. I like DC. But yeah, so that's why I feel like strength and conditioning, I think that was the best, like, shoveling stuff, like picking up heavy buckets and tires and things like that. Like it made me feel like I was actually doing something rather than just like a hamster on a wheel, just like, okay, I'm working out and I'm getting in better shape, but I feel like I could be actually doing something productive here and getting muscles too.
So to answer the question, we don't really do the strength and conditioning that we do isn't like was not weightlifting and
I mean,
all
sometimes
like,
if we feel like it, but
and like
how do you know when to do it? Like say if you're in a camp, like say like when do you know when you want to lift weights or something?
I mean, It like for this last training camp, I barely lifted a weight. I don't think I did.
We hardly ever do.
Like we did. It's more like an
practice-
off-season kind of thing. Like if we're just like, oh, let's just go to
practice punching
24
harder.
for fun.
Walk around all day with a 40-pound weight vest on.
Shadow boxing. Shadow boxing is the best workout you could possibly do. Because
Really?
like I think people don't people practice hitting pads all the time. But if you don't ever practice missing a punch, you will get tired. Like if you throw 3 punches and miss,
Right.
you never practice that, you'll be surprised at how tired you are.
Yeah, it is kind of incredible how tired you get missing things. It doesn't make sense to people.
And if you watch people shadowbox, even professionals, they suck. Like they're just like, you know, they just don't do it with no emotion, no like visualizing like somebody in front of you. Like if you ever watch like my old jiu-jitsu coach back in Minnesota, Greg Nelson, if you ever watch him shadowbox, he's like fighting people and killing people. Like he's
Really?
yeah.
You know who's got a great video on shadow boxing is Joseph Valtellini, former Glory champion. He's got a whole series of things
That's cool.
put up on his YouTube. He's got some great instructional YouTube videos. But one of the things that he went and talked about is that you should think of that as like you're fighting. You should visualize like fighting, and you're going through scenarios in your head. You know, you're checking kicks and countering with right hands and delivering techniques.
And that's where a lot of people I think they forget about the imagination part of shadow boxing. Like people they leave that out. They think, okay, stand there, throw some punches, throw some kicks, stretch my tricep twice, and then throw 2 more punches and move my head once, and that's
they get
it.
bored with
They're
it, you know.
They're not actually visualizing someone in front of you throwing punches and kicks at you and fighting back, and they're not visualizing someone reacting to the punches that you're throwing and firing back and moving around. And when it comes to shadow boxing, that's what we really, that's strength and conditioning. Shadow box, 40-pound weight vest on, walk around all day. Just don't even do anything. We just stay home all day with the weight vest on.
You do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go walk around the dog park, bike riding with the weight. Yeah.
Weight vest is nice. And
What is so good about the weight vest? Like,
it's like the hyperbaric. What was that thing that they used to get into? Dragon Ball Z.
Hyperbolic time chamber.
No, what was the gravity thing that they got into?
Yeah. Well, that's just part of that's just like such a reoccurring theme in the Dragon Ball Z series. Is like just gravity training and like because once you take your weight vest off, you just feel lighter.
You can breathe a lot easier.
Oh.
If you can get accustomed to breathing with the weight vest just sitting on your shoulders all day and moving around with this thing, and it's just it
strengthens you.
Bruh, and then when you take it off, it's almost like as if you're instantly
it's like,
filled with helium.
Do you carry like backpacks and stuff when you go hunting and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I have a pack that I wear that has a bolt on it for Olympic plates. It's called an Atlas weight trainer by a company called Outdoorsman's. And they make it specifically so that people can train for hunting scenarios where you have these heavy packs on, so you could put 90 pounds on your back with these plates, and it clamps down just like a regular barbell. Has a whole locking mechanism on.
Right.
But it's a real good backpack where it like sits on your hips and connects in and
like stabilizes.
Yeah,
everything,
it's perfectly like tuned into your, or padded right for your shoulders and everything. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not like I said, I'm not trying to be like against strength and conditioning, but it's just whatever makes you happy. Like I don't feel happy doing strength and conditioning. Like I want to do have fun with it too. But I like manual labor. I like digging holes. I like getting dirty. I like being outside, kind of thing. So, but I used to power lift like before I got to Colorado. So that was a great thing for me at the time. And I think it's just phases. You just do different things. You always got to change it up. And like there's this. Were we watching that one weightlifting documentary where he's like, if you can't do a deadlift, there's no point in living. And it's like, deadlifts are the shit, and squats and just like the basic, like powerlifting positions or like movements. But overall, I just like to, like one training camp when I fought Paige, I literally for a strength and condition or for a conditioning exercise, I would chase my dog for like 5-minute rounds because she's the fastest thing ever. I couldn't chase her, or I couldn't catch her. So,
That's hilarious. That's a good way to do it. I mean, Rocky used to chase chickens, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
Look,
I run with my dog all the time. It's fucking dogs are in shape, man.
Bruh.
They don't get tired.
And not
Nope.
we have videos of it. It's like that's getting ready for a fight. What's she doing? She's chasing the dog. What else? Just chasing the dog.
I
If
mean,
you can
it
catch the
shouldn't
dog.
be. It shouldn't be a
Holy-
miserable
yeah.
thing, you know.
Right.
Like training camp should be hard work,
Right.
but it should also be fun,
Right.
You know, like what the hell am I doing if I'm not having a good time doing what I love to do, like
Yeah.
just for money? Like, no, I want to make sure that I'm enjoying myself during these training camps and making sure that if I didn't have this fight, would I still be doing this kind of thing?
I've always said that to someone that is asked, like, how do I get in shape? I said, well, if you take martial arts, the beautiful thing about it is you're getting in shape, but you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're enjoying it, and then you don't even realize how hard the work is because you're having fun.
And you're like getting a skill.
Yes.
You know?
You're getting a skill.
It's like
you're
gi
thinking.
It's like gi jiu-jitsu. And
Yeah.
this is me saying
Yeah.
this. Gi jiu-jitsu is better than lifting weights, in my opinion.
How so?
Because, man, just heavyweight with gi, it's
right.
it's slow, so it's so much static holding.
Right,
And
right,
maybe I'm
right.
doing it wrong, but it's so much
No, I'm
static
sure you're
holding.
doing it right. It's
And
hard.
when I feel like as if when you get out of it, because it's a fun activity and because it's interesting and it's not just 20. Now I
Right,
like
right.
doing. I can hit a set of 100 curls right now. I like weights,
Right.
but gi jiu-jitsu that's been just phenomenal, man. Just like the strength that you can get from that. If you're strong there, then you're strong a lot of other places. And when it comes to Rose's conditioning, like Rose, we practice functional things like punching harder, kicking harder,
Right.
grabbing the dummy and guillotining it, squeezing it for a 10-second hold and letting it go, and then squeezing
Yeah,
it
like a
again.
Bubba dummy, like one of those. Yeah.
Greg
Those things
Nelson,
are great.
Greg Nelson would walk around with a screamer stick on his arm, and he would just sit there and Kimura the stick over and over again against his forearm, and just Kimura the stick over and over. And we
Just to practice that technique.
we wondered
Yeah.
why is this going on, but then if he grabs your arm, it's pretty hard to stop.
He's actually the reason why my Kimura got so good, is because like we would literally like shrimp up and down the mat, shadowing, like shadow boxing, shadow grappling, like Kimuras, just over and
Right.
over again.
Greg's an underappreciated guy.
Yeah.
He really is. Really
Yeah.
underappreciated guy in the world of martial arts. Very, very knowledgeable guy. Very nice guy, too.
Very knowledgeable. Like,
Yeah.
that's one of the guys that for sure is one of the guys who you can ask a question about any type of technique or anything, and not only can he give you the answer, but he can give you the history behind it. And he sits up. This
He's
dude
like
is a martial
yeah.
artist, like
Yeah.
out of this world. And he, like, it was a big deal bumping into him, and then taking everything that we've like that she's learned from him, and then coming to Denver, where we met Tony Basili, our grappling coach, and then he took everything that all of the technical things that Rose learned, and took
And it
that
added
to
some swagger to
took
it,
that
you
to
know?
another level. Took
Like-
put some flavor in it, man. And
Yeah.
just took it to another level.
Tony Vingus, like, yeah, it's just a good combination because, yeah, like
Well-
Greg Nelson's very like martial artist, like very strict, and Tony's very like, you know, very creative and just does different movements and things that you haven't seen before. You
Well,
know?
I'd like you both to speak to that because it's very important to me too. How the coaches that you get, the martial arts instructors that you get, the people that you run into, they're so critical. It's so important, and they should be praised. Like if you see a guy like Matt Hume who could create a Mighty Mouse, I mean those
Yeah.
people, they're so rare. It's like they're so valuable.
And you got to get that connection with that coach,
Right.
you know, like that's important too. You know,
Yeah.
you got to find the right fit, find the
Yeah.
compatibility. And so I think that's why you see some people bouncing around because
Yeah.
it's just like they don't really vibe
Right.
with this place, you know.
Or you don't vibe with the community, the town that you're in. You know, maybe you
Yeah.
don't want to live in this city, and so you try
Yeah.
out Denver for a little bit, or maybe Milwaukee's your spot. You know, it's like there's
Yeah.
so many different alternatives, and there's so many different styles that people have. Like
Right.
for some people, you know, American Top Team would be the spot. For some people, you know, maybe they should try Montreal and go up to see Faraz Sahabi. You know, it's just
Yeah.
It's just we're so fortunate now. I think that there's so many places to choose from where you can go to John Crutch down in Arizona. You know, you
Yeah.
go to the Lab. You can go to Duke Rufus in Milwaukee. You can go. There's so many places now. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You just have to find your flavor. Like there's some places where you go. There's some gyms that you go to, and the training at the gym consists of who shows up to practice that day.
Yeah.
And it's just like, all right, everybody, we're working on single
Yeah.
legs and just go and just fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's the one thing I don't-
you get better based on who showed up, like all your teammates that showed up. And then there's the coaches where they're very one-on-one-ish. Like the Matt Hume created Demetrius Johnson. Like Trevor Whitman is is good enough to take an individual and make them an individual versus, all right, everyone in the room, we're all going to throw this one jab and that's it. Like,
Right.
he's very, very specific and he can find what you're good at and help you become an individual, like I say, in the gym.
Yeah, and maybe his style is perfectly matched for you, but it might not be perfectly matched for somebody else. And it's such an interesting relationship between trainers and fighters. And what really bums me out is how sometimes fighters forget. They just forget what got them there. They forget.
Right.
They think it's all about them. And it's such a selfish sport in a lot of ways because it's really only you in there.
Yeah, I mean, they've been in so many training camps. Like, literally, Pat has a meniscus surgery that he needs to get fixed, and it's like they beat up their bodies just as much as we do to train with us. And especially in my situation where it is like fight handling and it is like very one-on-one kind of a deal, where it's not like I have hundreds of training partners and I go to this, like ATT, for example, they have like hundreds of people there. And, like I just have these guys. So, yeah. So it's good to appreciate your coaches.
It really is. It really is. It's such an unusual relationship. The relationship between a fighter and a coach. It's
yeah. I mean, like once I finally went through kind of just my different learning lessons. Like after I fought Carolina, I didn't have him in my corner, and like after I realized that was the missing link, and it's just something that I realized. If I can't do it with these guys, then I don't want to do it no more. Right. Because it's all about being happy. It's all about what makes you happy. I mean, you ever notice how like kids never get tired or like they can just run around in circles for forever, and it's because they're having fun doing it. And so that's where the training is based, is like whatever makes you happy.
Now, when you look at your future and you say, I'm the champ now, do you have a roadmap that you have? Like, I want to retire in 10 years. I want to get this. I want to accomplish these things. Do you have anything like that, or are you just playing it by ear?
Like I like to have a plan, and then if things change, and that's fine. You kind of have to be able to adapt. I plan on not fighting longer than 5 years from now.
Really?
Yeah.
How old are you now?
25.
So 30. That's a wrap.
Yeah, I don't want to fight in my 30s. I mean, I could, by the time that comes around, like time flies. Like I could be 30 years old and be like, fuck that, I'm getting some more fights.
Start. Yeah, one more.
Well, it's also, you have the potential to be a fucking huge star.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to freak you out, but you're at
Too
this,
late.
You're at this strange. You're a very unique person, and you're at this very strange time in history where I don't want to freak you out, but I think the sport needs someone like you. I really think you're unique. You're a very unique individual, and I think that perspective, can help a lot of people to recognize that there's a broad spectrum of people out there that are doing this, and that your genuine behavior and thought process, and how in depth your thought process is. I think it's very important right now.
I think it is important, especially for women too. You know, because we have a tendency to be pretty catty and bitchy towards each other, and I think that if I can show an example to other women to be more loving to each other, and not just woman to woman, but to each other, man or woman, I think it's important.
And also the way you shave your head, you're wearing sweatpants, you don't give a fuck.
Right.
I mean, but you're still beautiful. I mean, that's important. And you're also a beautiful person, like your personality. And I think that's so needed right now.
Thank you.
I think there's always like in time, there's always dark times, and there's light times, there's dark times. And we've been in the world in general for the last few years, things have been kind of whack. People are wearing more sunglasses at night. The fighters are getting more ridiculous. It's just, and I feel like as if, not that we've hit a seriously low point, but things have gotten pretty whack. And I have the feeling that after that performance, like after what she did and what she said, that was like a spark of the beginning of things coming back up. Like just things being a little bit more, not so Like, not so fucking ridiculous. Like I said, everybody's got their sunglasses on. Everybody's showing up with a leather jacket with no shirt on under it. Everybody's like talking crazy shit and just being ridiculous, man.
Well, Conor kind of changed the game.
Yeah.
He did. I mean, he kind of let everybody know how valuable shit talking is.
Now everybody's going to be wearing these pants.
Yeah. Well,
No,
I hope
don't know.
I mean, it seemed to me, I mean, this is just my take on it. I feel like the UFC missed out with Amanda Nunes. They when they were marketing Ronda Rousey for that fight, first of all, I was looking at it, I was like, this is all Ronda Rousey, and she is facing, in my opinion, the worst possible matchup. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt who hits like a fucking truck. And a real tested warrior.
Yeah, Nunes
but they didn't
scary.
promote her.
Yeah.
They didn't promote it. They promoted the Ronda Rousey thing, the Ronda Rousey comeback, and her walking around her mansion frowning like she's coming back, like she's coming back to fight a fucking killer.
Yeah.
And why not promote the killer? Like, this woman is murking people. Like, look at what she did to Miesha Tate. Look at what she's doing to people. She's blasting people into orbit. And then she wins. And here you have this opportunity. You have the very first
Like, oh,
openly
look at this,
gay
yeah.
woman who is a mixed martial arts UFC champion. First one ever.
Right.
This is no big push.
Yeah.
But that also could, I mean, from what we've just discovered over the last 3 months, that could also be Amanda, though. Like, we left New York that night, and we didn't talk, like, nothing was different. For 2 months, bro.
Yeah, but we created that ourselves.
Well, we did
shut
that.
the blinds.
We went home and we looked out the window for 2 months trying to figure out who's walking down the street. Like, I mean, we shut it down. They wanted Rose to instantly go on a victory tour across New York. They want us to stay in New York. Like, after that whole week in New York, after the fight, they said, we want you to stay in New York to go on a victory tour. And I was like, no way. No, absolutely not. We have to go. We have to leave. Not only do we have to leave, we're leaving right now.
But did you think that there was some benefit in doing a victory tour, of doing a bunch of different television shows?
Yeah,
and
I don't know. I feel like I might have, like,
I
don't know what I would have even said like in
been
interviews at that time, because it's just like still processing. Like,
that wouldn't have been a good time.
But I think
I don't
that's
know.
one of the things that people would like to see you try to process it.
yeah, I know.
Nah, bro.
People were going to see Rose do this.
But I honestly
Yeah.
think in that circumstance, it's critical who you talk to.
Yeah.
Because you could be talking to some fucking normal morning show dummy, and
Yeah.
they don't give a shit about the sport. And they're going to ask you stupid questions. You're only on for 5 minutes. You're like, well,
Right.
hey, it all worked out. Hey, what's up, Mom?
Yeah. Right.
You wave at the camera.
I think that looking back in hindsight, I wish I could have like took it in a little bit more, but it was kind of like, okay, next fight, like, you know what I mean? It's just
Right.
like everything is just, and we're like, okay, let's get out of here. Like,
As soon as the fight happened, we stood up, we shook hands, and we said, everybody be cool. We just got to get the fuck. We just got to get home.
I got to say, I like that too, though.
yeah.
I like that approach too. I
Right,
like that you
right.
just get the fuck
that's
out of
just
Dodge.
Yeah. Hey, like, so in our entire relationship, like, Pat has had to learn this over time that, like, if I get the instinct to
Rose got a really
we
good
need to bust
intuition.
out, like, you have to listen to me. Like, now's the time to go. You
Rose-
know, like, I'll
Rose
just
has-
get this
we have-
feeling.
we have
I'm like, something
multiple-
will happen. Like, as soon as we're leaving.
Multiple occurrences
you
where
know?
Rose's intuition has been spot on. Hey, yo, we got to get the fuck out of here right now. And we're like, all right, cool. So, like, there's no questioning. Now there's no questioning anymore. If Rose said right now we out, we drop, going. And within,
Just like,
we call it everybody knows it's a countdown.
Yeah.
Rose said, let's bounce. 10, 9,
Yeah.
and we're going to launch. The last time she did this, we got to get the fuck out of here. We were leaving. This was one of the first times we had gone out to a nightclub in
And, like, we've been saying, like, we need to go out, like, for
We need to
3
go out.
years. And then, like, eventually Valentina, like, won her fight in Denver. So we're like, we're going out tonight.
We're gonna
Fuck
go
it,
out
you know?
tonight. All right, well, you want to do it? We're gonna do it. And we went out to it. It was fun, and we danced. And for years we haven't done anything like this. And we danced. And it was great, and everybody had a great time. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 12:31, Rose says, yo, let's get the fuck out of here. And
the
it's
crowd
instant.
changed.
It's instant. It's the instant change of the feeling around 1 o'clock or somebody said, we got to get the fuck out of here. And within a minute, we had 8 people. We were grabbing people, come with us. Let's go. Yo, you're from the gym. How you getting home? Come with us. Like, to get in the van. And we walked through the club, down the stairs, past this really big guy that was by the front door arguing with the security guy. Right past, excuse me, sir. Right past him. And as soon as we got past him, he started shooting everybody. Pop, 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 pop. Like, he just started shooting everybody.
What?
And it's been instances like this where
And you
Rose
were there while the gun was going off?
pow, 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 pow. And then not only that, but we got in the van and everybody fucking don't move. The dude, he walked to the car that was parked right in front of us. Like we were parked. Like this chick, we're in the van. This chick runs up to the door. She's scrambling, trying to get in. This guy's casually walking. We don't know what's going on. He's just casually walking around. We just see this guy. He opens up the door, pulls the gun out, shoots, pow, pow.
Shoots her?
No.
No,
What are you saying?
She was with him.
She was with him. She was getting in the car.
Like he was having an argument with the doorman, I think.
Because they weren't letting him in or something like that. So he just started shooting, pow, 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 pow. And then he walked to his car. And then when he got in his car, he said, huh? Put the gun up again and hit him more, doo-doosh. And then got in the car and they just casually drove off.
So it's like
while we're
instances
sitting in the
like
van.
that where I'm just like, I will call it like instantly, like, you know.
So you just think you have very good intuition?
Yeah, because I just seen stuff like that, you know, like I just can feel the energy of a room like change, like, you know, when I was a kid and we was just playing basketball and it's like, it's weird how nobody else will pick up on it, like, except for myself, you know, in those situations. Like I was playing basketball with my friends and then like down the street, I thought I heard something in the distance that like, you know, just people talking, or some like people making noises, but I didn't, you know, there's always noise. We're in the middle of the city, you know, but for some reason my attention was brought to this noise. Like something's wrong. So I look and I'm like, man, I think I see some people wrestling over there or something. And then, you know, my friends were like, oh, no, they're probably cool. What are you talking about? And I was like, I'm going to go over there and check it out. And so, like, I, you know, run across the street a couple blocks down. And then, like, all of a sudden I see a guy have a knife. He stabs him, you know, and then he falls down. And he, like, turns towards me. And then I'm like, oh, shit, you know. So, and then I realized that my little, like, dude that I would, like, help raise, like, as a kid, because he was, like, young as well as myself. His name was Matthew. And then I saw him follow me over here. And so I thought I was the only one. So I was like, oh, shit, Matthew, go home. You know, like, so we had to run. Yeah, and then he ended up just driving off or whatever. I don't know if they found the guy or whatever, but...
Rosa said shit like we're on the highway driving on a road trip. She's like, get off right here. Like, just quick, get off right here. Oh, go to start getting off and the car flips over. It's spooky. I don't question it. I don't question it anymore.
And then just like, you know, just like the whole thing with the truck driving accident, like that type of stuff. Like it just seems like, I don't know. And that's why I always believed in the fact that if you're delayed or you're late for something, it's for a reason, you know. And so that's why I was like the week of the fight, I was like getting nervous because it's like, we're gonna get there late and. You know, it's gonna be, you know, things are starting to go wrong already. And then once we landed, I kind of like put the pieces together, like, oh, yeah, that's why everything happens for a reason.
So do you always feel like you're kind of tuned into something that other people aren't tuned into?
It depends on where I'm at in my life. Like sometimes if I'm living the right way, if I'm healthy, if I'm like, you know, in shape, or if I'm, you know, like, spiritually right, yeah, like.
You're tuned in that way, that you're not troubled. And when you're troubled...
like if I'm surrounding myself, if I'm making the wrong choices, if I'm surrounding myself around like, you know, just evil and stuff, like if I'm, or just like...
the wrong people, you're troubled.
Yeah, then I won't have like...
then you're confused and...
yeah, then it's hard to make clear decisions or like, yeah.
Or to have good intuition.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're free of any... regret or remorse of your own actions, more clearly you can discern what's going on in your environment.
Right, and that's why I say like
very, very, very super observant. I mean, just coming up with and it's almost like I would say just from the stories that I've heard of the growing up in the past, because of those experiences, she got really good at scoping out a room. You know what I mean? Like really, like nothing can, like it's really hard to sneak up on Rose. You know what I mean? She sees you coming from 2 days ago. Like it's really, she's very observant. Let's say that. And in a way, because of growing up, it's a skill that had to be developed. Yeah. You know, you snuck up on me once, it'll never happen again.
Right.
You know,
and like we even like as kids, like, you know, people that I used to like hang out with on the in my neighborhood, we would like help each other out. Like we would teach each other, like, yeah, don't go down that place, or don't hang out over there because somebody got shot over there, or like, you know, like if the same car like circles around this block too many times, like go inside, you know, kind of thing. Right.
Yeah. How hard is it to watch each other fight?
When he was fighting, it was pretty hard for me. But then when I was actually there, when he had a kickboxing fight and I was actually able to be in his corner, I felt a lot better. But being away at home, that was difficult for me.
And also because she knew internally I wasn't ready.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I guess.
That's
Not all the time, but yeah.
That's also the big part of it. Like, I could have been more ready for the majority of the fights that Rose was around for.
And what was wrong?
With me?
Yeah.
No, I mean, just fighting for the wrong reasons and just not necessarily going about it in the healthiest way. I mean, I had a prescription pill problem. Whiskey was delicious. I mean, just living not the healthiest life and not the best life. Like I said, I was doing it for the wrong reasons. Like, when Rose and I met, I said, you are good enough to be a world champion. You're good enough to be the best in the world. And this is something that you really want to do. I'll make sure you never have to have a job. All you have to do is train. If this is something that you really want to do, I'll make sure you never have to work a day in your life. All you have to do is train and be a fighter, and that's it. So as soon as that started, I caught myself getting into fights asking, how much does this one pay? 25 and 25. All right, cool. I can do some math on it. If I win it, do some math. If I lose. All right, cool. Just get into the fight. You lost. I don't give a fuck how much. Like, I find myself getting uncontrollably getting into that scenario. Now, the kickboxing match that she was at, I was ready for that. Like, I actually was past all that shitty decision making that I was making, and was actually prepped for that one. But there were other times where, whether it be conscious or not, subconsciously, there was somewhere inside of, I would guess, the mind where we both knew that I hadn't done. I'm supposed to do 10, but no one's looking, so I only did 8, and I just didn't say anything. You know what I mean? Like that type of thing.
Do you have regret?
No, never. And the reason why is because if I go back and change anything, I won't be sitting here talking to you right now. You know what I mean? Like, right. Every decision that I've made, every life experience that I've had, dad passing away when I was a kid, having to do all these different, like, all of the decisions that I've made and all of the trials and tribulations that I've been through have been exactly why I'm sitting here right now with a beautiful woman right next to me who happens to be a world champion talking to Joe Rogan. Like,
and, I've learned a lot of lessons from his mistakes, and his successes as well, just watching him, go through all that. It's helped me a lot.
Yeah, no regrets.
Like, it's almost like I've been able to experiment with having a UFC career, but not actually having to, like, do it. Like living vicariously through him, and then now I can know what I can do different. It's like doing it all over again.
When did you decide to stop, Pat?
Still not.
You're still not.
No. I'm never going to. This doesn't have to be a belief that everybody believes in, but I believe that if you're a fighter, you don't really retire. You never really retire until people just stop giving you fights. I'm never going to want to stop. I'm always going to want to fight. Always.
When was the last time you fought?
Man.
2 years ago?
It's been a while.
Was it in Glory?
Yeah. No, this was like Legacy?
No, Legacy. I think I fought Demario Dennis was maybe my last fight, last kickboxing match, I think. I think that was like 2 years ago, but I still want to fight now. I have a lateral meniscus tear that I would like to get. I need for just my own happiness and for Rose's training camp. I need to get done with, like, take care of that, because that puts a lot of hindrance on training. After all these years, as soon as the knee starts feeling weird, I automatically just take it easy and just don't fuck with it too much. But
is it a tear that can be fixed with stem cells, or is it something that has to be done with a scope? I
think it needs a scope. We are just finding out about stem cells. The question I was going to ask you, how do you feel about that? Like, I would, and what you told me before. But
I'm a big believer in it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It does some pretty miraculous shit if you use it correctly and you get a good doctor.
Yeah. So I'm looking
for... Do you know
for
Dr. Davidson from the UFC?
Yes.
Yeah, talk to him about it.
He's who I talked to. I called him kind of in a... we're 11 weeks out from the fight.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to call myself one of Rose's main training partners, and it would be cool if I can get this knee taken care of either this week or next week at the latest, so I can have the few weeks off of recovery and still have 7 weeks left to attack Rose every day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like in order for us to do that. But do I want to fight again? Yeah, absolutely. I'm always going to want to fight. I got a fight offer yesterday.
Say hell no.
Yeah, I got a fight offer yesterday.
Hell no.
Not hell no, but because
will I fight again? No idea. Rose is the star of the show.
Not for pennies, though. It has to be like the right thing. Like it has to be.
I got offered a fight against Pedro Hizzo.
Bro, Pedro Hizzo.
I think it was going to be like on a Sunday at the county fair or something like that.
Pedro Hizzo, man. He's a guy who's been around a long
time.
He's been in some wars.
A long time. But I got offered that, and I said no, thank you. But I mean, I'm still getting the calls every once in a while for not as much as possible.
Why'd you say no, thank you? Because it was a bad offer?
No. Well, I don't. Not good timing.
And this is an MMA fight or a kickboxing fight?
Man, I think it was going to be a kickboxing match with MMA gloves on, I think. I don't know. But I also had another fight with Eric Prendel that was supposed to be November 18th. That was a kickboxing match with MMA gloves on, I think. And that one got postponed, which was completely great. Like, Rose is the shit. I'm not getting in the way of that. Like, Rose is fucking rolling right now. I'm embracing the role of a coach and team leader now, not being the athlete anymore. And I get it. I know I'm 38 now. Whatever the fuck's going on with me, which things are a lot better now. I'm healthy and everything's great, but Rose is where it's at. Like, that's where my time and attention has been since we met. And it's still gonna be that way. Like, Rose is. I said when we met, I was gonna make it a point. You will be. You have what it takes to be the best. I'm gonna make sure of it. You know, like that's the role that I like. That's the role that I like now. It's a lot more comfortable now. Oven baked pizza every fucking night. Like, I love it. Like, it's more comfortable now for me to do that. Now, at the exact same time, it drives me crazy that I'm not fighting.
You just gotta have a good purpose behind what you're doing. You know, that's just like the like bottom line. You know, whatever you want to do, you can do anything that you want to do, but what's your reasoning? Right. And for me at this point is to change the world. Like, I know it's a freaking...
Your reasoning is to change the world?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
This is like my best skill and like the thing that I can do the best, and I think it reaches a big audience, and I can get my message across. Yeah, and you know, like you were saying, like, just setting a better example, trying to change the way people think, or at least just offering a different perspective. You don't got to think like me, you know. This is
an active idea that's in your head. Like, while you're training, while you're doing media, you're thinking, I have a chance to change the world.
I want to build an urban farm in my community, and I want to make it available for, like, other people because the way that I grew up, I wish there was, like, an urban farm where I could learn how to grow my own food and I could get my own food that was not from the grocery store, you know. And so I want to provide that for other people. And, you know, fighting is the quickest way I can do that, I think, you know. And there's other ways, you know, like
positive influence on someone.
Yeah, for example, I started getting into, like, some cryptocurrencies and stuff, and there's this thing called Evergreen Coin that's just, like, you know, one of the altcoins or whatever. I don't know, it's still pretty small, whatever, but it's a sustainable cryptocurrency that doesn't use as much electricity, and it kind of goes into every kind of philosophy that I agree upon, you know, and it falls in line with my beliefs, and there's just a lot of aspects about it that I really like, and so that's something that, like, you get, it's good for charities. So, like, if you hold some Evergreen Coin, like, you can get some stock in it from, I mean, I sound kind of stupid trying to recite all this information, but yeah, like, you can generate money with it, and then you can donate it to charity, and it works that way.
So these are just a bunch of different things that you would like to let people know about and help people understand.
Yeah, and I'm still formulating these ideas, you know, obviously, like, because, I mean, fighting takes up, like, all your time, you know, but I like to think about these things, and I think it just, you know, over time, it's just going to, like, kind of fall into place, you know, just doing things like, you know, the Indonesia Earthship trip, and, like, just doing different stuff that I can build skills for later.
And you're going to do more of this on your YouTube channel?
Yeah, I've been trying to...
Especially now, as a champ, it seems like a great idea.
Yeah. I've been trying to put together the next episode. I have a whole bunch of footage, but So like, sorry guys.
It seems like somebody would want to get involved, like some sort of a production company or something. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to me.
Yeah, I've got a camera guy, Austin Erican, who he does a great job, and it's just been kind of a roller coaster, all this traveling or just trying to get things together, get my shit together. Basically,
we also had to shut it down and put it on pause after the Michelle fight.
Yeah,
like after the Michelle Waterson fight, however long ago that was, as soon as that was over with, we knew Joanna was next, and everything stopped.
Social media kind of just
everything stopped.
I got off of like that for a little while, and not off of it completely, but just trying to like minimize it, and because I knew that. Well, I think it. I don't know. It's the most addictive drug, like just being on your phone, and you just fill your head up with just like a whole bunch of information that like when you're focused on just this one person, like to defeat this person, this one mission, it's hard to, like you only have so much room in your head for that kind of stuff. And also because we knew Joanna was checking her Instagram every day. Yeah, it would drive her nuts. it would drive her crazy to not post anything or be seen anywhere. Like, she even said in the interview, she's like, she don't want to do social media and stuff. It's like, I mean, like, why does it bother you? Like, I don't understand. Like,
because she couldn't see you. She had no idea what you looked like. She didn't see you training. She didn't see you doing any of that stuff. In her defense,
she had pay-per-view points
to sell the sell the
fight. No, she had a great reasoning to do it, but part of the strategy going into this fight was to ghost Joanna. That was a factor. That was a big part of this game plan, was to ghost her no matter what she says, no matter what she does. And we knew that it was going to come in levels. She's going to say this, then she's going to say this, then she's going to say this, then she's going to talk about your dog. Like, it's just going to going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And she might we even knew, she's going to touch you. She's going to push you. She's going to touch you. When she does, don't move. Don't react. Give her nothing. And it worked.
Now she knows, though. So I have a strategy. I'm going to come at her, and I'm going to be stone face.
I mean, she's going to be mega boogie. I don't believe in, I'm
going to put a hex on her.
Right, yeah.
She's coming. Mega boogie's coming.
Yeah,
she's going to be
exciting.
Mega boogie.
I love it. I don't hate on her for doing what she's doing. It's just it's kind of like silly, to me, but.
But that's to you. But it works.
But it was great.
It worked for everybody.
Right. Without her. And without my contrasting personality, that fight wouldn't have been nearly as exciting as it was, So like I need her, and that's why I think I like to get people to understand, like other fighters, like you need your opponent just as much as you need your training partners and your teammates and your coaches. You know, like it's your dancing partner, like it's the show, And
it's also what
but
motivates
it's real
you.
too, Yeah.
It's also what gets you up.
Yeah.
It gets you fired up. I mean, to fight a woman that's that dangerous.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Yo. So she told Rose some crazy, like, okay, so all week shit was going on. We missed the car accident. We missed the Antifa thing happened right in front of us. We got down to the locker room and they gave Rose the wrong gloves and didn't want to give her the right gloves. Like, they gave her the wrong gloves.
What do you mean by the wrong gloves?
I need like a bantamweight size glove, and they gave me a strawweight.
They gave her strawweight gloves.
And I said specifically beforehand,
you have
like,
larger hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She got broken fingers. This was going on.
No, I do it. These are piano playing hands.
Yeah. So we also got to the arena late. Like, usually you get to the arena and you have 3 hours.
Right, but you were just going to say something. You stopped yourself. You said she said something to Rose?
Yeah. So we get to, like, we got to the arena late. They gave her the wrong gloves. They played the wrong walkout music. Like,
what was the walkout music?
I have no idea. It was something terrible. Like, it made me so mad.
What were you supposed to come out to?
Well, so originally, what was it? It was
Sweet Freedom.
Yeah, I switched it to that, and all week long I was like, because I wanted something uplifting, something happy, and that was something that we've been jamming out to for like a few weeks or whatever, and the whole week I've been telling Pam, I'm like, I can't wait till they play my walkout song. It's just all I care about.
And they fucked you with the wrong song.
Yeah. I was like, fuck everybody in this arena.
What was the song that you actually came out to? Do you know?
I have no. It was like some Oasis or something. Song. Like, I don't know. Yeah.
Did someone make a decision, or did they fuck up?
Don't know. I think.
Somebody
told me that there was a mistake.
Somebody fucked up and they hit playing the wrong song.
Some dickhead who loves Oasis. Like,
I guess so.
I want to hear what I want to hear, man.
Right. I mean, it's just such a contrasting, like, style of music. Like, I don't even know how you can make that mistake. Like,
it turned out to be the best part of the week. Actually, it was the best part of the week, because by the time that happened, it was like, fuck it. Fuck it, everything,
Right.
man. Just fuck it,
Yeah.
man.
It's crazy.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
go out. Just
What were you gonna say that she said?
Joanna before the fight came like you doing the USADA drug test thing. Rose was walking back through the hallway with her official, and she crossed paths with Joanna, and all by herself. And Joanna, go ahead.
Oh yeah, she like in a different tone of voice too, like the weirdest. Like she didn't seem like herself for a second. I mean, I'm sure she's getting in fight mode or whatever, and she's like breaking in her gloves, and she's like, and I gave her like the what's up, you know, and she gave me the what's up, and then she was like, she's like, I think she asked me something like, did you buy the ticket? Or I was like, what? She's like, do you believe him? Or do you believe in him or something like that?
Do you believe him? Did you buy the ticket?
Yeah.
And then she walked off.
And didn't say nothing. And I was just like, what? It was like,
Did you believe him? Did you buy the test? She's like Kaiser Sosa.
Yeah.
She's giving you some fucking riddles.
yeah, she was trying to do that like all week long. Like even in the weigh-in, you know, after the weigh-ins and stuff, like all kinds of stuff.
Weird
but-
mindfucky shit, right?
Yeah.
Hey, yo, man,
Yeah.
Rose came back to the locker room. Now, we're ready. All week, we've been deflecting shit. Now, Rose is a very emotional person. And we got to keep Rose straight because she comes in with the wrong look on her face. Uh-oh, something's wrong. She goes off and does the drug test and comes back. And when she sat down, she sits down and says, we have to have a meeting. Now, that's code. We have to have a meeting is code for shut it down. Everybody get the fuck out. We're bouncing. We have to have a meeting is like kind of another way of saying start the countdown. We're leaving.
Okay.
We have to have a meeting. And when she said that, the way she said it, I remember everything came over me like, oh, fuck, what happened? And then when she said what Joanna said in the back, what Joanna told her, do you believe him? Did you buy the ticket? And then left without any explanation. Yo, when Rose said that to me, my fucking head exploded. And the only thing I could say was, oh, shit, I don't want to have to fucking think about this all night.
That's literally what he said. I was like, oh, dang, she fucked you too?
Oh, fuck.
Damn.
Yo, man, we've deflected everything
She
since
is a
signing
Jedi master at what she does. Like, she's the shit, you know?
Well, she's been
But,
a multiple-time world Muay Thai champion, and she just knows how to fuck with people.
Yeah.
Bruh, we deflected
Yeah.
everything. We deflected
Yeah.
the knuckles in the mouth and the crazy shit
Did
that
you
she was
buy
saying.
the ticket?
Everything.
Yeah.
And if she came and said that one, and where we got back to, we spent a
Which,
good 5
by the
minutes.
way, our ticket is what maybe she was like, oh, maybe she delayed our plane or something. You know, like, just like making all these conspiracies in our head.
for a good 3
Yeah.
4 minutes, for 3 or 4 minutes, Trevor, Tony, Rose, and I all sat in the locker room
just like silent, like what the fuck?
because that was the little thing that could have fucked everything up. Because I know I was sitting there like, what does that mean? What does that mean? Did you buy the ticket? Because I mean, when she says, do you believe him?
But you had to know it was horse shit, right? You had to
Yeah.
know what she was doing.
Right, yeah.
But
Honestly,
in any
we
other
don't even-
circumstance,
Just in that moment,
in any other
you know,
circumstance, like if you ran into someone at the fucking 7-Eleven and they said something like that, you'd be
Right,
like, this
right.
crazy asshole.
Yeah.
It'd be out of your head in a minute.
Yo,
Right,
man, but she
right.
said it with a calm voice and then
course
just
she did.
walked
With like
off.
no accent.
She's the
like,
boogie woman.
No, she said no accent, no
Yeah.
accent.
Yeah.
Just said it real calm, and
Wow.
like to the point where there's even a chance, and I think there's even a chance Joanna. No
Didn't even
recollection of
remember
that.
it, yeah.
Maybe she didn't.
What?
I don't know, man. I just like bro. Roses be spooky sometimes, man. Like so, there's a chance that like just with the way the whole week went, that maybe that was, let's say God or a higher being or something like that. Maybe that was the last test. Do you fucking believe him? Did you buy the ticket and then just walked off? Was a test of whether or not are we going to get all the way down to right here and you're going to be fucked in the head now?
Which, by the way,
now this is
something-
after the fact, remastering the
Which-
system.
By the way, like in the moment, something inside of me, I was like, I don't know what she's talking about, but just give her the thumbs up. Like, yeah, motherfucker, I believe in him. Like, yeah, like, I don't know why. I was like, I don't know what you talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, I bought all the
believe.
tickets. I bought all the tickets, bitch.
And
I just want-
yeah.
Hey, yo,
Wow.
man, we
I
were
don't know.
we were in the locker room, and really, Rose had to get up to go and do something over there. And when she got up over there, I turned to Trevor, and Tony said, hey, yo, we in some, oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
That is so crazy.
Oh,
that
fuck.
one little silly thing where
Yeah.
she was just trying to fuck with your head
Right.
actually works.
Got
Right,
it.
yeah.
For about 3 minutes, we were
That's
fucked
amazing.
up, man.
Isn't it amazing that shit like that works? They're
Yeah.
just like a little mind fuck. You're
Yeah.
like, what?
Yeah.
How? What ticket?
I mean, 'cause it's
who
like-
am I believing?
Right. Yeah.
She's a wizard.
Yeah.
Hey, when
But-
she came back and said that shit, I sat there, started thinking, I was like, what did I do?
Now, do you think at all about? You don't think at all about doing that back to her? I mean, you just fucked her up in the first round. So,
Right.
like, what do you say that to her?
I think I did do. Like I did fuck her up in the head though.
Oh, you definitely did. You fucked me up, and I was
Yeah.
about to interview you. I'm like,
Right,
she's
right.
got this 1,000-yard stare. And she's,
Yeah.
and I was like, what were you saying? And you're like, I was saying the Lord's
Right.
Prayer. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like,
Right.
there was like the devil and a priest. It was like the two of you together. It was like
Yeah,
you were doing like an exorcist.
Right.
And she was like saying she was the boogie one. It was one of
Yeah.
my favorite stare downs and just the build up.
Yeah.
The way you handled it was very interesting because most people handled it. They'd get in her face too, fuck you, bitch, and they would be
Right.
all
And now she wins.
Like Claudia and her would get together, and I
Yeah.
think that emotional, like the conflict and all the extra energy that's involved in that, like it fucks with people's heads.
Right, right.
And that's what she's looking for. I think over
Yeah.
Joanna's career, she came in as the silent killer who was just destroying everybody, and then she found out that if I start talking shit to someone, they get fucked in the head before the fight even happens, and then it worked and it worked and it worked. So it got to the point where she's that almost. That one weapon right there almost replaced some of the ferociousness in her fighting, maybe.
Yeah.
Like knowing that, and that is also why the game plan was to ghost Joanna no matter what happens. Like, we know that she needs a reaction. She's looking for something. No pictures, no videos, no social media, no interviews, no nothing. And when she says something, don't even look at her. Just like she doesn't exist. Just ghost her. Ghost her the entire
And because
time.
we know for a fact that even before we were signed up to fight, she was thinking about me. You know, like she knew I was on the radar
Of
for a
course.
long time.
Yeah,
you
of
know?
course. You
And
had to
so,
be.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a handful of contenders in the strawweight division, and you were at the top of the heap, and especially after you beat Michelle.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's how we knew it. So no social media, no nothing. We just
So
went
now
And it
what?
just feels
silent.
better, you know, like not having to do all that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean,
But does
it's
the UFC
fun,
put
you know?
pressure on you to try to do that kind of shit?
No.
They
No.
they did, but we so honestly said not this time that they just understood.
Yeah.
We very honestly said no, that's
in the
not
mental
that's not going to work out for us. We need to prepare for this fight, and we need to be all the way ready. Now, there's some interviews that need to be done, but the other little things, like how come you're not posting about, how come you're not retweeting this picture? It's like, nope.
You know, it'd be hilarious if you did a bunch of shit that had nothing to do with the fight, like almost like you're not even fighting. And
Right,
it's
right.
like, I just found a cool Indian restaurant.
Yeah, I know. Seriously.
You know, oh, I love this movie. It's hilarious.
Yeah. Right,
No,
right.
no pad hitting, no,
Yeah.
no shit talking, no
No.
motivational speeches.
Just be, I mean, because really,
Yeah.
like, I think you should, like, show other sides of you other than just, like, I get kind of just bored just posting another group picture, another, like,
Right.
oh, this is what I'm eating today, or, you know,
Yeah.
like, or this is my workout today. I don't know. I mean, some of the workouts is definitely to be watched. Like, we got some cool footage hiding away, but
yeah, but
Do you
everybody
put that
everybody
But I
up
mean-
hits
after the
pads.
fight? Do you post that stuff after the fight, or do you think that any of the stuff that you post, like on workout footage, training footage, especially like working on technique, do you think that in any way that helps people read you?
I don't know, because it's totally different standing across from me in the ring. You know what I mean?
course.
Like, I could train. I mean, I train with Tisha Torres, you know, like, and we fought each other. We've lived in the same house together, like, for multiple weeks, you know, and I'll still fight her again. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not, you can't, I mean, there's things you could pick up, yeah, but I'm going to change it up on you. I always got another ace in my pocket, you know? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
plus,
pretty cool.
I like to, I don't want to keep everything to myself. You know, like
Right.
I said, you want to give, you know?
Sure.
And
Yeah.
training the
It's a
what they-
challenge to keep getting
it's so barely different, but it is still different how you can train together all day and night. But when the bell rings for a fight, it's totally different.
That's true.
You ever hear stories of Clay Guida in the gym and at practice? He can't. We've been hearing for years that Clay Guida just gets thrown around at the gym all day and night, but when he gets in the ring, he can fight like a monster. Like they can train together all day and night, but when it comes fight time, it's just
I'm just
different.
confident in my ability that I'm really good at what I do. You know, and it makes it more fun to share it with people and, like, you know, but I don't want to give all my secrets away. You know, you have to keep making up new ones, you know.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, Rose, I'm happy you're out there because you're a lot of fun. And
Thank you.
I really enjoyed calling your fights, and I really did enjoy the whole week, all the press conferences and your behavior. And I think to this day, like I said, after your fight, that post-fight speech is one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah, thank you.
It was awesome, and it was very genuine, you know. And I think you guys have an awesome relationship. It's very cool. It's very cool to see you guys and how much he cares about you and the way you guys work together. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully we can maybe not make the Mona Lisa again, but you know, make the Picasso. Or
we called Dana White and told him when they were asking for the next fight, they were trying to get us on the contract. We told them that she won the belt, so we were going to start a family. Yeah, she won the belt, so we're going to start a family now and come back in a few years. And
what did he say?
They didn't like that at all. What the fuck? It's like, nah, man, just kidding. just we start a family.
Yeah. April 7th, pay-per-view. I'm going to be there, and I can't wait. Thank you, Pat Barry. Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Thug Rose!
Yeah.
Hey, man,